thanks for coming back for another update. As you can see, progressed a little bit here. Cold morning this morning, so I'm down here, got the doors closed at the moment. We'll wait for the sun to come around and warm things up before I open the doors and start any more work, so thought I'd chuck this update video together for you. Hopefully I don't miss anything. I took a few photos, a few little bits and pieces along the way. So where we left off last time, I got the carburetor off, so I got that linkage apart, got the screw out, carburetor off, took the muffler off, and yeah, then I got into that little bolt through the centre of the flywheel. Got that undone. It was just a standard, standard right-handed thread, so turning it to the left. Got that undone. That got the cover off the side of the flywheel, exposed the points, and got the cooling fans off as well again. So I had a little bit of oil floating around inside where the points cover is, and inside the flywheel there. Heard that's sort of normal, and especially for this sort of age and for it sitting around for a little bit of it seeped out, so I can even see some still sitting in there now. But gave that a good clean out, blew it out with a bit of compressed air, a little bit of degreaser. Gave the points a really good clean up in there with a file and a bit of sandpaper. Good dry out with a rag. Found that problem on other things as well. Those points are really sensitive and need to be really dry, really clean, really have a good contact. So we did that, and then give it a bit of a spin over and managed to get some decent spark out of it. I actually borrowed the spark plug from a different motor. Got a Scamel fire pump, so I borrowed the spark plug out of that because the spark plug that was in this was getting a spark but only a little. Put a better spark plug in, or a newer spark plug, and got a better spark. Then I moved over to the other side and took the gearbox, the reduction box, off the other side. Had to split the case there, undid all those little screws and bolts. They were a bit of a pain. Used the impact driver on most of them. Got them undone. Took the outer cover off, and then I found the gasket was still in pretty good shape, so I was really careful getting that gasket off. Got that safely to the side. Pulled the gears out and made sure I took a few photos of those gears just so I know how it goes back together. I haven't dealt with those sort of gearboxes before, so they look pretty simple, but I thought I'd take some extra photos just in case. The connection between the inner case, I guess, of that reduction box was bolted onto the side of the engine. 4 bolts and lock wired in to stop those bolts from turning and loosening off and coming undone. So I snipped the wire, pulled that out, got those bolts undone, and got that side of the case off. I was sort of halfway through this process that I was sort of thinking back to getting that spark, and I thought, well, I had that carburetor off, got that all really cleaned up. Had the little sticky needle valve under the float. That's pretty normal. I've had that same problem with other things as well. Got that freed up, and I thought, well, if I've got spark and I've got fuel and I've got air, I could probably get this thing to run. While I was doing that, I skipped a step. I better go back. The cylinder head, I took the cylinder head off in there somewhere, and in between that was probably before I did the gearbox. I found there was a lot of carbon up in the top of the cylinder head, so we wire wheeled all of that out. The head gasket, copper head gasket, was still in good shape, so that was good news. While I had that head off, I took the valves out completely, gave them a clean up again with a wire wheel, got all the carbon off them and build up and lapped them back in really properly. What I found was easier to do that lapping was that these valves in here have actually got the slot for a screwdriver, so I was able to do that the really fast way, and I think I got a really good job out of it by using the electric screwdriver to wind those valves backwards and forwards and get them lapped in and polished up really well. So yeah, we chucked the head back on, put the spark plug in, and as I said, threw the carb back on, and had a pretty cool result. So there's a little video that I took there. I was quite surprised and really excited when that happened, so we'll show that video. I've just been a bit of a fright. I thought I'd try this and just see what happened. I got a little bit of gas, haven't got the tank hooked up yet, but I just filled up the bowl and carburetor, swapped the plug out for the one off the Scamel pump. I was getting a little bit better spark, and I spun it over and it started, so I was going to give it another go, and yeah, I know it looks a bit dangerous. I haven't got the covers or anything back on yet, and the interrupter to stop the ignition's back here. So, but I'll fire it. I'll let it run for a few seconds and then stop it just so you can see what's going on. Oh, maybe it just wanted to stop itself because it was out of gas. But yeah, I managed to pull the butterfly back on there to idle. Throw a little bit more in and see if I can go it again. Spilled a bit. So, yeah, she's a runner. Happy. So after that, what did we do? Just got into cleaning really. Got everything cleaned down, started spraying some degreaser all over everything, getting rid of the oil and the muck. Ready to prime this and paint it. I'm not going to sandblast the engine itself. And now that I've got that cylinder head back on, I'm going to leave it on. I'm not going to take that off to paint it separately. I'll probably just take the valve cover plate off there, mask up what I need to mask up, use the high heat temperature paint for the cylinder itself and the cylinder head while it's still on there, all attached, and then we'll back mask that off to do the red underneath, mask off the flywheel, take off bits that I can here and there. Yeah, so pretty tedious task. Got into scrubbing out all of the other covers and plates, you know, the things from the gearboxes and the chain drives and all that sort of stuff, the engine shroud, the starter pulley that goes on here. So I've got everything degreased and cleaned down now, ready to do some sandblasting and painting. So I'll probably leave this update at that for now. Throw in those photos. I can't think of anything that I've missed. Oh, I got the little plates, the little atom plates. These ones came off that engine shroud. Villiers plate from the motor and the Barford atom plate that went on the top. So I got them out. The fuel valve, the fuel tank, this I was going to talk about. So I gave these a clean up on the end, and the decals are still okay, and rather than replace those, just to keep some of the heritage, I guess, and the history that goes with this thing, I'm not going to paint over these and then replace with new decals. I'm gonna mask those in, just the ends of the fuel tank, and then blast up and clean and repaint the rest of it to new. If it looks funny with these being old and this being new in the future, then maybe I'll think about, you know, taking it off again, painting those up, but I think for now I want to keep them as original as they are. Got the valve out of the bottom, given this a good blowout and a rinse out and a clean out, and got all the rusty gunge out of there. The little fuel valve, that's you know, that's the sliding type. I got to figure out if I can do a little bit more research into that with if I can replace the corks and that to get it to seal at the moment. Even in the closed position I can just blow air through it, so maybe even just getting it wet again with some fuel, the cork might swell and it might start to seal. I don't know, I've just got to figure that one out along the way. We drained the engine oil out as well. It came out pretty black and gungy. I've still got the tray of the old oil here. She's a thick bippy black mess, but good thing is there's not really much of a rainbow, no sheen, you know, as such that I can see on here, and I didn't see any metal particles coming out, so I think everything inside's still pretty good shape. Yeah, that was pretty much the last thing I did yesterday, was draining that oil, so I'll probably leave this update there, and today I'm going to start with cleaning up some of this metal, doing some sandblasting and priming and stuff, and see how things go with that. So, right, thanks for tuning in and looking at this update. Hopefully this one will be a bit of a shorter one, and I'll get the next one up soon. So just remember to subscribe. I've got to explain that subscribe thing a little bit. So subscribing to a YouTube channel doesn't mean that you're paying money or you're signing up for anything that's going to cost you anything. A subscription just simply means it's an easy way for you to find your way back to content by subscribing to the channel. when you're logged into your YouTube account. When you log back in, you can click on your subscription list and you can find a list of things, the new videos that have been uploaded by someone from that channel. Yeah, can't really add much more to it than that I can think of. So yeah, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe to the channel, make it easier for you to come back and find what you're looking for. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. See you later.